The Word Processing for Seniors series of videos follows very closely the book titled Word Processing for Seniors. This book uses large print, includes a number of step-by-step projects. It shows how to insert graphics images, insert tables and frames, create books, create newsletters, and create greeting cards. The software used in this set of projects is LibreOffice, and LibreOffice is available for free for Windows, Linux, and Mac. Let's take a quick look at the contents of this book. There's a project for getting started that introduces the basic user interface, and this project introduces the first of two extremely powerful concepts that sets word processing apart from just using a computer as an electric typewriter, and that concept is that of paragraph styles. The next project shows how to create an illustrated story. This project covers the second most important concept in word processing, and that is page styles. There's also a project that will lead you step by step through the process of creating a book. The sample project creates a family history book, but the technique is the same no matter what kind of book you want to create. There's a project that has detailed step-by-step instructions for creating a 2-column newsletter. Another project shows you instructions on how to create greeting cards. There's also a project that includes using tables and frames in documents. And there's additional information available for installing LibreOffice software, and it can be downloaded and installed in either Windows, Linux, or Mac, and the LibreOffice suite is available for free. There's a section that covers computer hardware for doing word processing. And for Windows 10 users, there's a separate section that shows how to use File Explorer to organize files. Let's take a closer look at some of the projects in this series, starting with Project 1, Getting Started. Many people like to think of the computer as just a fancy electric typewriter, but to get beyond that, you need to learn some of the basic concepts that distinguish electric typewriters from word processing software. Most people who've typed on a computer at all are familiar with the concept of changing the font size and styles, and they do this manually. But to really take advantage of word processing, you need to use the concept of paragraph styles. In the LibreOffice user interface, there's this little drop-down selection box for paragraph styles. First, I'm going to select all the paragraphs in this document by using a quick key shortcut. Hold the Control key down, press the letter A, and that selects all the text in the document. And then I'm going to change the paragraph styles from the default paragraph style to something called text body style. And you should notice immediately that that paragraph style automatically puts spaces between paragraphs. Typists who start using computers have a habit of using the typewriter technique of putting empty lines between paragraphs for spacing. That's no longer the appropriate way to do that. Instead, use a paragraph style that controls precisely the amount of space you want to have between paragraphs. The paragraph style also includes things like the font and the font size that's being used. Let me put the cursor in the very first paragraph in the document and change the paragraph style from text body to something called title, and watch what happens. You notice that the title paragraph style automatically centers the text, changes the font size. By taking advantage of paragraph styles, you can format your documents much faster and much easier. Now let's take a look at the second project, and that is creating an illustrated story. In this project, we are again going to use different paragraph styles. If I put the cursor in the first paragraph, you'll see that it's using the title paragraph style. If I put it in any of these other paragraphs, you'll see that it's using the text body style. And I've just gone ahead and used filler text to illustrate the different parts of the display. You can see that there's a graphic that's been inserted with the text wrapped around to the left, and you can also insert a graphic with the text wrapped around on the right side. There are a number of ways to insert graphics into documents, and these will be covered in the projects in this book. More importantly, in this project, we introduce the concept of page styles. Right now, the cursor is in the first page of the book. I know that by looking down here and seeing that we are in page 1 of 4. And here it shows that the name of the page style in use is called My Right Page. Let me scroll down and put the cursor in the next page. Now the text cursor is in page 2 of 4, and the page style has changed to My Left Page. Similarly, if I continue down to page 3, the page style is again My Right Page. So this document has page styles that are set up for two-sided printing. If you look carefully, you'll see that the margin on My Right Page is wider on one side than the other, and on the left page it's the opposite. Let me show you how that looks when I go here and select, instead of the single page view, I'm going to select the book view, and then I'm going to use the zoom slider to zoom way out, and here you see My Right Page followed by My Left Page followed by My Right Page, and all this happens automatically. So now you can just concentrate on adding text, and the system will automatically format the next page for you once the page styles have been selected. The other thing that we may notice, if we zoom back to single page view and zoom in a little closer, that's zooming in a little too close. If I scroll down here a little bit, you'll see that there's a footer, and you'll see that the numbers are shaded gray. This indicates that these are inserted fields, and the inserted fields are taken care of automatically by the system. You see in the header that the text is shaded, and that's because this is using an inserted field that carries the title of the document from page to page or from header to header. As this continues, the system automatically will continue to update the pages in the footers and update the text in the headers. Once the concepts of paragraph styles and page styles are under control, we can go ahead and do a project where we create a book. In the practice exercise in this project, we're creating a family history book. However, the concepts apply to any kind of book. I have opened this document in book view, and I've zoomed way out so we can see many of the pages in the book, but I'm doing this to demonstrate the use of different page styles. With a cursor in the very first page, you'll notice that that uses a custom style called My Title Page. The next page uses My Copyright Page. The next page uses My Contents 1 page, and that's followed by My Contents 2 page. This book does not have enough contents yet for the contents to spill over into the second page, but we made provisions for it. After the Contents 2 page, we have a right page, followed by a left page, followed by a right page, and so on throughout the book. When you have the custom page style set for your book, you can concentrate on just filling up the pages in the book. You no longer have to worry about the formatting. As you fill one page and the text flows to the next page, the system automatically takes care of the page styles for you. The next project in the series shows how to create a 2-column newsletter. Here you see a practice sample where page styles have been created that use 2 columns, and then the text will automatically flow from column to column and from page to page, and the styles of the pages have been set for two-sided printing. You can see inserted graphics, and you can also see that there are special paragraph styles in use. If I look in the sidebar, you'll see that that paragraph is using a custom paragraph called My News Title, and that paragraph style includes not only the font and alignment, it also includes the background fill, and it also includes border lines. A very powerful concept when you're using paragraph styles in your documents. The fifth project in the series shows how to create custom greeting cards using the free LibreOffice Writer software. In this example, we're going to use standard 8.5 by 11 paper to create our greeting cards, and we're going to fold the paper twice to create a greeting card that has a front, a back, and inside left and inside right pages. The question is, what is the orientation of those pages? So the trick is, we take a piece of paper, we fold it up twice, we'll write front, back, inside left, inside right on the different pages, and then when we open the card, we'll know which pages inside the card have to be flipped 180 degrees. The other trick is to use rectangles, the size of which has been carefully calculated so that when the card is folded up, everything will be spaced properly. And these rectangles then can be used as positioning guides for the graphics or the text for each side of the card. And again, you can see that we have to flip 180 degrees the insides of the card. Now, once the card has been designed and everything is spaced out properly, we simply delete the rectangle guides for the finished card. Two additional important concepts for word processing are covered in Project 6, and those concepts are the concepts of using tables and using frames in documents. Tables are a very important way to align things horizontally and vertically in a document. As a matter of fact, in LibreOffice Writer, the tables take on many of the capabilities of standard spreadsheets. If I scroll down here to an example, you can see that we can actually do calculations within a table in a word processing document. This is similar to using a spreadsheet, but in fact it lives inside the document itself. We can also format the table in a number of different ways. We can change the background color for the entire table, or we can change the color of specific rows, or if we want, we can even change the color of particular cells. The last concept covered in this project are frames, and frames are like little documents that are inserted into a main document. A frame can contain the same things the main document contains. Sometimes they're used as sidebars to provide separate but related text. Frames can contain text, and you can insert graphic images inside the frames, and frames can have borders, and frames can have the main document text wrapped around them. Now, the LibreOffice Writer word processing software contains a lot of very powerful tools. And some people are frightened off because there are so many things that you can do with it. But in fact, the majority of users never need more than 5 or 10% of the basics of the software, and those are the things that are covered in this series of projects in word processing for seniors.